There's a couple reasons why she's resigning. She is basically saying that she has re-election coming up, and she's going to basically she doesn't want to have like some kind of a put her basically her constituents in her district through some kind of a political battle. But isn't that what all elections are? They're all battles. People get up, they give speeches, they give debates, and it gets pretty hardcore. That's how all of them are. She had to do that when she got the position originally. So I don't know why she would say that's the reason, but I know that Donald Trump now is pushing, and he's saying that he would back someone else that would run against her. So let's see how that goes. Good to have you guys in the chat. In the live stream and in the chat. Cabin's been great. As you can see, I'm on the third story here. There's the top of the cabin, the windows and everything behind me. But it's been great hanging out here in Lake Arrowhead, California, enjoying the vibes out here. I kind of got away a little bit, so enjoying that. What's up, man? What's up, everybody? Yeah, we got the horizontal live, and we're having some fun with the live stream. So let's listen to what she has to say a little bit more. I might forward here back and forth, but we'll go through it.
Overseas.
And then I got Donald Trump's reactions from this morning.
Small businesses continue to be swallowed by big corporations. Americans' hard-earned tax dollars always fund foreign wars, foreign aid, and foreign interest. And the spending power of the dollar continues to decline. The average American family can no longer survive on a single breadwinner's income, as both parents have to work in order to simply survive. And today, many in my children's generation feel hopeless for their future and don't think they will ever realize the American dream. And that breaks my heart. I ran for Congress in 2020 and have fought every single day believing that Make America Great Again meant America first. I have one of the most conservative voting records in Congress, defending the First Amendment, Second Amendment, unborn babies, because I believe God creates life at conception, and I love to fight for the little guy. Strong, safe borders, I have fought hard for that. I've fought against COVID tyrannical insanity and mandated mass vaccinations, and I've never voted to fund foreign wars with your hard-earned tax dollars. However, with almost 1 year into our majority, the legislature has been mostly sidelined. We endured an 8-week shutdown, wrongly, resulting in the House not working for the entire time, and we are entering campaign season, which means all courage leaves and only safe campaign re-election mode is turned on in the House of Representatives. During the longest shutdown in our nation's history, I raged against my own speaker and my own party for refusing to proactively work diligently to pass a plan to save Americans' health care and protect Americans from outrageous, overpriced, and unaffordable health insurance policies. The House should have been in session working every day to fix this disaster. But instead, America was force-fed disgusting political drama once again from both sides of the aisle on television every single day. My bills, which reflect many of President Trump's executive orders, like calling for a new census counting Americans only to draw new districts, making English the official language of the U.S., making it a felony to medically trans a minor, and
one thing I got to say right away is that I like that she's got her policy, she's got her plans, she's got the things she wants to do. It's clear. It's something that she's able to communicate that to us. I like that. I like that it aligns a lot with a lot of the things I value. It's also nice that a lot of them line up with Trump. But let's hear what else she's got.
Other bills like eliminating capital gains taxes on the sale of your primary home and eliminating H-1B visas just sit. They all sit collecting dust. That's how it is for most members of Congress bills. The Speaker never brings them to the floor for a vote. Many common Americans are no longer easily convinced by paid political propaganda spokespersons and consultants on TV and paid shills on social media, obediently serving with cult-like conviction to force others to swallow the political party talking points. Because they know how much credit card debt they have, they know how much their bills have gone up over the past 5 years. They actually do their own grocery shopping and know food costs too much. Their rent has increasingly gone up and up. They have been outbid by corporate asset managers too many times when they put in an offer to buy a house. They have been laid off after being forced to train their visa holding replacement. The college degree they were told to earn only left them in debt with no big six-figure salary. They see more homeless people than ever on their own community streets.
A lot of this is definitely true. A lot of people are in over their heads in credit card debt. A lot of people went to school unfortunately, for things that they should have known would be difficult to find jobs in. And so you got people that are overqualified, overeducated for a lot of things. These days, to be honest with you, a lot of people can go out and do a lot of things like plumbing and electrical and those kind of trade type work, not trade type jobs. You could start out and do the work and eventually, start a business and hire people under you. And there's a lot that can be done. But for some of these degrees that people are going and getting, unfortunately, I can't say the same about all that. But so anyway, so we got people with, debt from school, debt from just in general right now. Cost of living has been high. But good news is Donald Trump's working on that. And hopefully the rest of the Republicans, it'd be nice to get the Democrats to help instead of just barking.
They can't afford health insurance or practically any insurance, and they just aren't stupid. These are the people I represent and love because that is who all of my family and friends are, common Americans. I've been blessed to represent the 14th District of Georgia for 5 years. The district is filled with some of the most wonderful, kind-hearted, God-fearing, patriotic, hardworking people you will ever meet. Good, regular, common Americans. I've worked hard to bring taxpayer dollars back home to help district needs. I impeached Biden's Secretary of Homeland after watching my constituents die as he facilitated dangerous open border invasion into America. And I led the effort to defund hard left politically biased NPR and PBS and the corrupt USAID. And I did that as
Love that. Love that she did all that against NPR and PBS and all that bullshit. There's no reason why the government should be funding any kind of media or news. That's just not how it works. Electrician Boogaloo is in the house. What's up, man? Dude, I was just talking about trade type jobs like electricians and stuff like that. And here you just showed up, bro. It's crazy. Your ears are ringing. Min, I went ahead and tagged everyone in Discord. Good looking out. Thanks for reminding me.
as chair of the Doge subcommittee.
Incredible Volk says we need MTG in California. I would love MTG in California. But we got a lot to talk about MTG, but let's keep going. Nick Fuentes is not a big fan of MTG.
I have fought harder than almost
because she came after him, actually. So she tried to take him down, I guess.
any other
Randoms here, bro. What up, baby? Dude, we got your horizontal. This is for you, bro.
elected Republican to elect Donald Trump and Republicans to power. I traveled the country for years. I spent millions of my own money. I missed precious time with my family that I can never get back. And I showed up in places like outside the New York courthouse in Collect Pond Park against a raging leftist mob as Trump faced Democrat lawfare. Meanwhile, most of the establishment Republicans who secretly hate him and who stabbed him in the back and never defended him against anything have all been welcomed in right after the election. And I will never forget the day I had to leave my mother's side as my father had brain surgery to remove cancerous tumors in order to fly to Washington, D.C. to defend President Trump and vote no against the Democrats' second impeachment in 2021. My poor father and my poor mother, it was way too much for all of us.
Hey, I don't know why it keeps doing that. Quick question for you guys. Can you read the chat that I have here underneath below me? Can you even read that, or is that too small? I'm trying to figure that out and see if I can fix that if it's not legible.
Through it all, I never changed or went back on my campaign promises and only disagreed in a few areas, like my stance against H-1Bs replacing American jobs, AI state moratoriums, debt for life 50-year mortgage scams, standing strongly against all involvement in foreign wars, and demanding the release of the Epstein files. Other than that, my voting record has been solidly with my party and the president. Loyalty should be a two-way street, and we should be able to vote our conscience and represent our district's interests because our job title is literally representative. America first should mean America first and only Americans first, with no other foreign country ever being attached to America first in our halls of government. Standing up for American women who were raped at 14 years old, trafficked and used by rich, powerful men should not result in me being called a traitor and threatened by the President of the United States, whom I fought for. However, while yes, hurtful, my heart remains filled with joy, my life is filled with happiness, and my true convictions remain unchanged because my self-worth is not defined by a man, but instead by God who created everything in existence. You see, I have never valued power, titles, or attention in spite of all the wrong assumptions about me. I do not cling to those things because they are meaningless and empty traps that hold too many people in Washington. I believe in term limits and do not think Congress should be a lifelong career or an assisted living facility. My only goal and desire has ever been to hold the Republican Party accountable for the promises it makes to the American people and put America first. And I have fought against Democrats' damaging policies like the Green New Deal, wide open, deadly, unsafe border policies, and the trans agenda on children and against women. With that has brought years of
I love the America First for sure, as you guys probably already guessed, but some of this other stuff I got to see, what else she's got going on. But I think, guys, honestly, I think she's resigning because she wants to run for president. I don't know why I get this feeling, because she does mention that she doesn't want to basically put her voters in her district through some kind of a battle against another Republican that Trump may be backing. But as I said earlier, going through a battle for a re-election is literally what they do. But if you want to be president, in the short term, very soon in the next couple of years, that kind of a run can damage or can pull out a lot of things that can hurt your run. But I don't know. I think it's good to kind of flush things out early on. That's just my take. What's up, State Line? Good to have you, bro. What's up, guys? What's up, Sean?
Non-stop, never-ending personal attacks, death threats, lawfare, ridiculous slander and lies about me that most people could never withstand even for a single day. It has been unfair.
Oh, see, Min says, I would never vote for her over JD. There's a lot. I'm curious what you guys think about her running for president. A lot of people say JD is great, but he doesn't have the, I don't want to say not guts, but kind of that like a really strong character to push hard. And people feel like she might have that kind of more Trumpy, kind of like a strong character. But I don't know. I like America First. I just don't know about everything else that she's about. So I got to just learn. I got to dig in a little bit more.
And wrong, not only to me, but especially to my family. But it's been wrong to my district as well. I have too much self-respect and dignity.
But can you guys read those of you on your phones, can you read the chat now that I made the text a little bit bigger?
I love my family way too much, and I do not want my sweet district to have to endure a hurtful and hateful primary against me by the president that we all fought for, only to fight and win my election while Republicans will likely lose the midterms, and in turn be expected to defend the president against impeachment after he hatefully dumped tens of millions.
Bro, Random says the first woman president is not going to be a blonde, is not going to be a booze hound. Bro, can you imagine the left if the first woman president is MTG and it's not their Kamala that they were all, she's a black person, like Trump was saying, and that. Can you imagine, bro? The left will lose it. They will lose it, dude. I promise you. State Line says she backtracked in favor of illegals due to her construction labor. construction labor, bro. They will. I'm telling you, the left will lose it, bro. Random has a point, dude.
Millions of dollars against me and tried to destroy me. It's all so absurd and completely unserious. I refuse to be a battered wife, hoping it all goes away and gets better. If I am cast aside by the president and the MAGA political machine and replaced by neocons, big pharma, big tech, military-industrial war complex, foreign leaders, and the elite donor class that can never ever relate to real Americans, then many common Americans have been cast aside and replaced as well. There is no plan to save the world or a 4D chess game being played. When common American people realize and understand that the political industrial complex of both parties is ripping this country apart, that not one elected leader like me is able to stop Washington's machine from gradually destroying our country, and instead the reality is that they, common Americans, the people, possess the real power over Washington, then I'll be here by their side to rebuild it. Until then, I'm going back to the people that I love, to live my life to the fullest as I always have, and I look forward to a new path ahead. I'll be resigning from office with my last day being January 5th, 2026, and I look forward to seeing many of you again sometime in the future. May God bless you all, and may God bless America.
So there you have it, guys. And we got Trump reacting to it as well. Just very interesting, bro. Again, guys, like, do you guys believe her when she says she's not running because she doesn't want to put her voters through it? I don't buy that, dude. I really don't. There's either something else going on that none of us know about that's not related to a presidential run, or she wants to be president. It's one or the other. It's one or the other. I don't know. Anyway, so let's see what Trump's got to say here.
President, Mr. President.
Again, I'm watching this with you guys.
Mr. President,
We're going to Andrews Air Force Base to do some work,
Hard to hear him.
especially for our great Air Force. We're doing some fix-up of the base.
Hopefully they fix the mics real quick because it's not really hard. I can't hear. The sound is bad in general.
I'm meeting with the great Jack Nicklaus, latest person, and he's involved in trying to bring their recreational facility back. It was a great place that has been destroyed over the years through lack of maintenance, so we'll fix that up. Jack will be the architect and he'll design it. Two existing courses that are in very bad shape, so we can, for very little money, fix it up for the Air Force Base. And we're looking at other things over at Andrews. So we're going to be stopping, won't be too long. We'll be stopping over there. I think some of you will be there. And the economy, as you saw, some incredible numbers came in. Investment in our country is bigger than ever. No, not my fault. I get along with everybody.
Work it out.
No, I get along with everybody.
We see the same thing happening between you and some
Sure, why not? I mean, I get along with everybody.
Is your aspects of your Russia-Ukraine plan problematic? Is this your final offer to Ukraine?
No, not my fault. No, we'd like to get the peace. It should have happened a long time ago. The Ukraine war with Russia should have never happened. If I were president, it never would have happened. We're trying to get it ended. One way or the other, we have to get it ended. So well, then he can continue. Then he can continue to fight his little heart out. Say it.
Do you have any comment about Bolsonaro's arrest? A former Brazilian president.
Know anything about it? I just think it's too bad. If they need it, I said go your own way, and once it had never happened.
Before you had an
Plants will be opening very soon.
Congresswoman Taylor Greene, I know that before you had a fight with Elon Musk and you guys were able to work it out.
No, I get along with everybody.
We see the same thing happening between you and Congressman.
Sure, why not? I mean, I get along with everybody.
Are all aspects of your Russia-Ukraine plan problematic? Is this your final offer to Ukraine?
No, not my fault. No, we'd like to get the peace. It should have happened a long time ago. The Ukraine war with Russia should have never happened. If I were president, it never would have happened. We're trying to get it ended. One way or the other, we have to get it ended. So
All right, that he didn't really say much. I was watching this with you guys. I didn't watch it. I saved it to see it together, but he didn't say much. Let's see this real quick and see if he's got anything.
Rosie. All right. So you know what they say. Opinions are like a-holes. If you're seeing too many, stop watching The View. Over there, they said it was obvious Trump was connected to Epstein.
But isn't it obvious that that Trump was involved with Epstein? I mean,
mentioned
there
over
are
1,000
more
times.
pictures of him with Epstein than pictures of Kim Kardashian of herself.
Yes.
Right. But listen,
How many more things do we have to see before people believe that he was involved with Epstein?
So Trump's mentioned over 1,000 times, but he could have been mentioned by anyone under any circumstance. You know, I bet Joy's emails contain 1,000 mentions of quarter pounders, but that doesn't mean she's banging Ronald McDonald.
Oh, I missed the happy birthday, Boo Boo Boss. What's up, dude? Dude, I hope you have a good year, man. Happy birthday.
Hamburglar.
Yeah, I was thinking of Hamburglar. And I'm sure if you look at all the Views emails, you'll find thousands of Trump mentions too. Does that mean Trump paid Joy or Whoopi for sex? If that were true, he would have leaned into the bullet in Butler, Pennsylvania. But that whole exchange illustrates a good point when assessing all this Epstein crap. Now that Trump signed off on releasing the files, be careful what you wish for. Like a mechanical bull in a bar, the story's tossing Democrats off left and right. Stacey Plaskett, Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, Hakeem Jeffries. But Trump, he's not riding the bull. It feels like he's operating it, which is what he ends up doing with about everything. So you shouldn't let the whirlwind of what ifs overshadow the what is. Like the Stacey Plaskett scandal. If it were the only one, it would be enough. The Democrat congresswoman from the U.S. Virgin Islands was caught texting with Epstein during a congressional hearing in 2019. Turns out she also worked for Epstein's lawyer and received money from him after his conviction. So if you've ever wondered, how was Epstein able to run a sex trafficking ring for years without anyone stopping it? It's because he knew which palms to grease. The entire story is about that kind of collusion, which allowed him to not only abuse countless women, but to maintain its secrecy. So Stacey's story is at the heart of corruption, where midwit politicians help and get help from the very people they claim they know nothing about. Here's Plaskett absurdly justifying the whole exchange.
But like many constituents, individuals get your phone number, they text you about issues, they speak with you. I have spoken with him about issues that are relevant, things that are going on in the Virgin Islands and elsewhere around the country.
Right, but on that day that we're talking about, you initiated the text exchange at 7:55 in the morning. So why were you even texting with Epstein at the time? He was a known sex offender then.
Sure. You know, I explain to people, I've been a prosecutor for many years. And there are a lot of people who have information that are not your friends, that you use to get information to get at the truth.
I think we just did. Yeah, Epstein was a constituent, and Dylan Mulvaney was a MILF. So that's a big deal, and we should probably get to the bottom of it. But here's the other reason we should slow down with all this. The vote to release the files mandates that the DOJ turns over, quote, unclassified records, documents, communications, and investigative materials, and all classified info to the maximum extent possible. In other words, key documents could stay confidential. So maybe lower our expectations. Remember the JFK files, the UFO crap? Just titillation followed by evaporation. Because we never get the whole truth. It's like the government treats us like little kids, shielding us from reality. Like your mom not telling you that the shopping mall Santa you just sat on was actually a down-and-out MC Hammer. But we're learning stuff anyway about life behind the curtain. It reminds me of those grade school field trips where you go to a local factory to see how stuff's made. It's that way with the Epstein story. We've gone behind the scenes to see how powerful elites operate. Is this what they do for fun? Was it common? What's that table for? Why are there restraints on the walls? And why does the guy in leather chaps look a lot like Larry Kudlow? So we're now seeing how a certain segment of society operates. And it explains how untethered elites use their wealth to satisfy their sexual appetites. So maybe it's not some random scandal. Instead, it's a roadmap. And Democrats might not be ready for where it leads. Charlie, you're probably sick of talking about this, but it's because it's like a big pile of crap, and you got to sift through it and find the stuff. What interests you?
Yeah, and I think you're right about it. I think that you do want to sort of temper what might come out next, but what's really important is what's already come out.
Yeah.
The whole story that we know as we know it is shocking and horrifying, and we'll see whether or not more names surface, more things come out. But just the thing with the Stacey Plaskett lady, it's she was literally texting with him. He was telling her what to ask about Donald Trump. And then if you look at the transcript, she's asking exactly what he texted her to ask during the hearing. Not asking Trump, but asking about Trump. And so, the idea that she is clearly, that's a constituency of one. Mm-hmm. She was his hand puppet, and she was doing exactly what he wanted her to do. Mm-hmm. And so I do that. The big picture, though, I think that it's a little bit like the sort of Russia collusion hoax, except we already know the end of the movie. Yeah. We already know how all of this ends. And so far, what we've seen is, everything has backfired on Democrats. And I don't think that, I don't have any reason to believe that it's going to stop.
Sherrod.
Gregory.
How are you?
Can't complain.
That is good. When you hear about how awful these people were on Epstein Island, do you feel better about yourself?
Well, Greg, I'll tell you this. A lot of rich, powerful people rumored to be on that list. Rich and powerful.
Yes.
I would love to be on that list. It would change my life. You'd be like, Sherrod was doing better than we thought.
Yes.
He was on the list.
So this Epstein debacle, man, this was wild. Let me go to another screen here, guys. And by the way, State Line, I was going to talk to you about something. So if you wanted to call in, you're welcome to. If not, all good. But I really think Marjorie Taylor Greene is going to be running for president. I don't think she's going to be. If you heard the way she's been talking lately, she's kind of. A lot of her talking points are about America and about it sounds like a little like baby intro to her kind of let's say debates, or not so much debates, but speeches that she might give if she was going to run for president. And it's very interesting to hear. I like America First. I like a lot of the things she's saying. I actually don't disagree with a lot of it. And I'm down for what she's saying with the, what is it? The, not censure. What's the word I'm looking for? But basically not counting illegals towards votes for our representatives. The name is escaping me right now. But I'm down. I actually like the fact, again, I always talk about this on the right. You have people that disagree. She could have just stayed, in her position. She could have not fought against Trump. She could have not pushed on the Epstein files, the census. Sorry, that's what I meant to say. And she could have just been fine. She could have just kept cruising and then run for presidency at another time. If that is what she's trying to do, it may not be what she's trying to do. It's my thought, my theory. But I do like how on the right people will disagree. You guys have heard me say that before. And I think it brings out the best in people and makes people kind of push into different directions and allows us to kind of look at these different ideas and see which ones we like better. Sometimes it opens our eyes up to new policies, new plans, new things that people are or new solutions that people may have. And I like that. I don't think it's cool to just have an echo chamber that just keeps running the same ideas, same policies, same plan, no change. So I think it's a really good thing. Yeah, let me know if you're on State Line. Are you? Yeah, okay. So you're in there. Let me grab State Line here. I'm gonna jump in this. Let me see. I think I have to go to a different screen here. 1 second. Let me go to here. And there we go. What's up, bro? Are you there? Not yet. Let me see if I can try talking now.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
There you are, bro.
What's happening?
The one and only State Line, bro. With that voice, baby. How you doing, man? You good?
Yeah, not too bad. Half asleep on the couch a little while ago, so now I'm up and ready to. What is it? Friday? It's Saturday night. I'm ready for Saturday night.
Right on, man. Right on. Yeah, I'm excited for tonight too. More mountain stuff up here, but definitely love it up here, especially on a Saturday night. We have a nice bar out on the lake, and it ends up being a nice time out there. So I might do some more, maybe a little more video or some pictures and stuff out there that I'll post. But I was gonna talk to you about some of this other stuff. Right now, we're talking about MTG. What are your thoughts on MTG, bro?
I don't know. I think she just kind of lost her strong position that she had before, kind of what she started out with. And I don't know if that fell apart as a result of how everything started falling apart just in general, or like how she backtracked on immigration because she owns a construction company, and that was the foundation of a labor base. So, like, if you're American first, you have to be American first. It's all or nothing, in my opinion. So I think with that and just some of her other quirks that she has.
How did she back out on the immigration thing?
Well, because she, somewhere along the way, I want to say, what was this? Maybe a month ago, not even, something like that, before the falling out happened, she ended up saying, oh, we should all have, we should care about everybody that comes in this country, and we shouldn't be, rounding people up at random like this when it comes to ICE agents doing their jobs. And then she brought that as a premise to it, saying that I own a construction company and that a lot of these jobs are, built on illegal labor. As a lot of other industries. And so that was kind of one of those things where it's like, so are you just saying this from a business owner's perspective that's trying to exploit cheap labor for higher profitability? Or, are you really worried about human rights aspects worth of this, because it's hard to tell when it comes to people making that kind of money, it does increase your profit margin. So.
Yeah, I mean, is she saying that she wants us to be? I mean, I don't think she's going to be okay with illegal immigration, right?
No, that's what she's basing it on. She's saying on the illegal immigration aspect of it. She said that there's illegal immigration. I forgot how she worded it. Don't quote me on this. I'm going to kind of paraphrase, but she said it's kind of been the backbone of our labor foundation in a lot of different industries.
Illegal immigration.
And that's where, yeah, illegal immigration.
Wow.
And that's where she prefaced the fact that she owns a construction company that has used illegal immigration in the past. So it's one of the accountability factors too, or, if you can't talk about it and then be America first and then say, but wait a minute, I have business interests where this is advantageous. So, now I'm going to backtrack. But then again, what got lost in translation from what her stance was prior about, ICE doing their job properly, America first, get rid of illegals. And now she's on this. So I get the feeling like maybe she's a decent person dealing with a more corrupt system than we think. And maybe she's just trying to distance herself from it, because I would think she would serve out a term and then go into, if she's going to run for president, because she still has a whole nother year before campaigning starts for that. That wouldn't be until the spring of 2027. So it seems a little too preemptive where she can't just finish out her last year and then, just not run again for that.
Yeah, it does. It does seem a little preemptive. That is true. She she's definitely there's something going on, bro. I can't put my finger on it, but I do think I'm like 75% thinking she might want to run for president. Do you think she does or no?
I really don't see her having a lot of success, especially, and I think the GOP nomination is going to go to somebody like Vance at this point. Unless it's to just siphon money through the campaign, like kind of what we've been seeing with all these other NGOs and stuff, just to be able to, let's just offshore some more money that we can stack up. I just don't see why she would go through that when I don't think she'd be able to even meet the nomination, much less actually get herself elected. Maybe it's to provide another, option in the ring, but who knows? I guess we'll find out soon enough, after January. So if she comes out with that, we'll know for sure. But in the meantime, I just have a hard time speculating on something like that.
So
I just think it's a bad time for a switch of that kind.
I agree, but here's some of the other stuff that's kind of related, which is what I want to talk to you about is the kind of the Ashkenazi or the Jewish stuff and this, her America First kind of a thing. I know that, there's, she's very much America First in that sense of, hey, let's not support another country. Let's work on ourselves. Let's not be bought and owned by the Jews, right? That's her kind of what she talks about. Am I right?
Right. Yeah. Well, and I mean, we talked about too, and how the kind of pressure he's been getting by not being an AIPAC endorsed candidate or an AIPAC endorsed congressman, Thomas Massey.
Yeah. Yeah. But
so between her and him, they're catching probably the most flack in Congress right now. And
here's my take on it. She's catching flack for that, but I feel like there's been this kind of an uprising in our country that is, also fueled by Nick Fuentes and his base, because he's been pushing a lot of this kind of, anti-Jewish lobby kind of a thing, basically very much America First in the sense that, hey, screw all these other politicians that are leading our country that are owned by the Jews or AIPAC, right? And I think that's becoming a very popular position now. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely got the country divided as far as where our loyalties lie. I think the problem with all this is we just can't make it go away. No matter how hard we sit there and scream or divide over any of this stuff, it's not going to change the fact of where all these political donations are coming from. It's a reciprocal relationship in a way that's obviously advantageous to the majority of Congress and then, some of the other administration too. So it kind of feels like, what do you want to say? It's like an ant climbing up a hill or up a mountain or something at this point, are you ever going to see the top of this, or are you just going to be climbing up this mountain the entire time, getting nowhere?
I don't know. I would say, dude, I think that it's a very, very fast growing position. I think that Nick Fuentes has a much bigger following and base and than any of us, are aware of. And I also think that his base and a lot of the people that are kind of in line with his ideologies, I think they are not just viewers. They're not just subscribers. They're not just listeners. I think they're way more active. I think they're way more. I mean, we've seen how Nick Fuentes was able to basically stop someone from being elected. That was, that was supposed to be elected, and very much because of Nick Fuentes, that didn't happen. I know it was a slim margin, and I forget the name of this right now, but I think this. I feel like presidential election is 3 years from now, and we got a couple of years still, to go on that. And I think within these next couple of years, that following, that backing, those active type of the people that are like kind of very much tuned into and aligned with that thinking, I think it's going to grow quite a bit, and it might that in addition to the other type of patriotism that we have in our country. I think those two combined would make for a winning, someone to, would make for someone to win a actual presidency, in my opinion. I don't know. I think it's growing because I feel like that's on both sides right now. You got to think about this, the anti-Jewish or anti-APAC or anti-Jewish lobby is it's not just a Nick Fuentes thing. It's very much a left. You see the whole left is on that kind of a thing too. So it's kind of a interesting landscape leading up to this next presidential election. What are your thoughts on that?
No, I agree. I think that, it could gain traction to the point where, depending on how things play out between now and then, you could see a major split or a major shift in, what everybody's perception, voter base, constituencies and things like that think about all this. Because, there's definitely some valid points you brought up there. It just circles back to like earlier conversations we've had where I think that despite the fact that it might be gaining traction, is that enough with the way that politics is, I don't want to say rigged, but almost seems like a lot of the candidates they throw in front of us are already kind of, whichever one's going to win doesn't matter because, like I said, two sides of the same coin kind of a deal. Whereas maybe if she can throw enough money at this campaign out of her own pocket with enough donors to back it up, like the ones that are, kind of changing their stance on all this, she might have a chance in that regard. But then again, what would that election year look like? Is this going to be a repeat of 2020? And all the mess that ensued as a result of that, depending on who wins and who loses, because it just seems at this point like it's all too divisive. It's definitely something we need. I think that we definitely need a lot less foreign involvement in our politics. It just depends on what those other people, what's her end game at this point? Because if that's not advantageous to any of this, then I think we're going to see a lot more harm than good result of it if we really find out that politics is as crooked as it turns out to be. Where is this what we need at this point in time? Hopefully the next few years go a lot smoother than this. But what if they don't? What if they just build to this and she comes out with another, good VP pick if she does run for president and more people speak out on this? Is that going to help the divisive situation in this country, or is that going to just be
I get your point,
completely
but
shattering it?
I get your point, but I know that, what's good for the country is not always what, what people are after or what, the end goal or the end game is. What's good for Marjorie's future is going to be a lot of times, what's more important, right? So, and I think if someone wants to be president and they think they can be president and they have something that they want to accomplish, I think they're going to think that's the best thing for the country, even if it does, like you said, have some kind of repercussions. I just wanted to respond to Min. Min in the chat says, Nick Fuentes has a following that doesn't just stop at Israel. He's anti-mixed race as well and other things. Is basically she's saying, is he a true socialist or Marxist? He's definitely not a socialist or Marxist because he's very much a capitalist. He likes capitalism for sure, from what I've heard. But he does have some different views for sure. Definitely mixed views. That are not conventional. So some of them might align with Marxism or socialism, but a lot of them do also align with capitalism. So it's hard to kind of, I actually like the fact that it's hard to kind of pin Nick Fuentes down on any specific ideology. He's kind of almost his own animal in a way. Joshua in the chat says MTG will be a regular on The Views soon.
And that ticked her off a lot of people when she went on these left-wing shows right prior. Well, actually, was it right before Trump ended up dropping his endorsement? But yeah, she went all over those left-wing shows. That was it felt like a slap in the face, which is why, I don't know if you've heard, but I've heard, and read a lot of articles where they said that this is the end of MAGA, where, I mean, if Republicans at the midterms at this point might just fall apart, you know, like not even get the nomination, like Trump might get impeached or something as a result of like how things are kind of imploding on the conservative movement, especially, you know, if America First is a premise and things aren't going according to plan from some people's perspectives. I don't know. Like it's just it's a rocky road, brother.
Yeah, I would say that it is. I mean, her going on all these shows, you know, it kind of feels like she's just selling out in a way. But I would also say that a lot of these shows would not have probably invited her unless she went against Trump. And a lot of the Democrats don't typically go on to Republican networks or on excuse me, Republican shows for that same reason, because they have a hard time backing up their positions against, you know, in my opinion, against Republicans that can very much back up why they want to do what they want to do. And whenever you have people like MTG go on a leftist show, the shows get shut. You know, she shuts the shows down. You know, Republicans and MAGA or what conservatives will typically, you know, basically, you know, get them pretty good. You know what I mean? When they go on their shows, and they don't like that because they can't back up their shit. They can't back up their shit. They really can't. You know?
Yeah. Well, I heard something. What else did I hear too? I'm trying to think of. Oh shoot!
Joshua was saying Al Green is pushing articles of impeachment right now. He's been pushing that for the last how long? I don't know. I can't. Almost a year now. Ever since Trump got elected, he's been pushing it. The guy got censured because he wouldn't. He was trying to push it, and he wouldn't sit down. He also says MTG went full Liz Cheney. Never go full Liz Cheney. Yeah, but I honestly think she went on these shows because they're now willing to invite her to their shows because they're like, oh yes, she's against Trump. Let's get her on the show. It's like, dude, you wouldn't have her on her show unless she was against Trump right now, because you know you'd get cream. She would cream you. Anybody on the conservative side would cream you if you put them on your show.
Right. But then, I mean, look at it from everybody else's perspective too. Then is she like changing stances on certain things? Is she really just changing her mind about certain things because she's seeing it from a different point of view? And she's like, oh, maybe we shouldn't treat illegals the way we've been treating them, you know, targeting them all rather than just people with criminal records? Or does she, you know, like what's the motivation behind this? Because I don't know about a lot of other people, but certainly if I was a representative of this country, it's just speaking for myself personally, I wouldn't give in to anybody else's platform. Like I wouldn't waver in my view, and I wouldn't allow anybody to do that. Even though Washington might be a lot of give and take, I just wouldn't get in bed with the enemy like that and think it's going to do anything good for myself or the country without, you know, like it just being more about views and rage baiting and things like that, you know, like taking advantage of a situation like that seems really shallow, and it's obviously not beneath the left to be able to do things like that. But I heard another thing, that there was talk that the Democrats at some point are going to try and rebrand some of their ideology around MAGA, like conservative values and things like that, sort of to try and take up that space for themselves in hope of pulling conservatives that way. So that's another thing to think about too, is what is really on the agenda here? Like, what if she comes back and she flips Democrat? And as she runs for that, because the Democrats have no real good candidates out there that are tarnish free. Like she's probably be the best bet for somebody out there that's flip stances and all of a sudden comes out and says, well, you know, Newsom's got his issues, AOC's got her issues, you know, like, but me, you know I was loved by Trump, I helped Trump, and now I'm on the opposite side. So, you know, now you got somebody really in your corner, because that's another potential option too.
You make a good point. And Joshua says in the chat, he says she got her $25 million and her full pension from Congress. She's set for life. I get that, but she could have just cruised through another year at least, and so or more. You know, I mean, she didn't have to go and push against Trump. So I do agree with you, State Line, that there's something else. If it's not a presidential run on the Republican side, maybe on the Democrat side. I don't know, bro, but It says, so coming back as a moderate Democrat, I always say, bro, if people were more like Fetterman, if we had moderate Democrats, they would crush.
Yep.
It would be, dude, nobody could stand a chance, honestly.
No, because I mean, that's the best representation. Somebody like Fetterman's a good representation of the people that actually is holding his ground despite whatever else is going on around him. You know, no other politicians doing that.
Yeah.
So if you got 2 of them, 3 of them, it spreads. They decide to say, hey, what if we just stop acting so extreme and we just start to say, do this? And like, here we go with the party flop situation again. The whole reason why some of us gave up being Democrats in the past and flipped over to conservatism. Well, what if they go through that again now in the face of adversity? Like, something's got to give. We can't just be blocked out forever here now. We need to get in some way, somehow. And this is probably the only legitimate way to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, and Josh is like, he says she might be a CNN reporter soon.
Oh God, I can see that.
I can just see.
She can't help herself. She has to come out, and she's always got to do some kind of dramatic. I don't know if you noticed that, but she's always dramatic about everything, and it's good sometimes. Like when she brings out the Epstein victims, great, but then, when she pushes it again, it's like, all right, is it about the victims or is it more about you at this point? She's just a drama queen. So she fits in on The View. Well, she'd fit on CNN too, but she'd fit right next to Whoopi Goldberg or something on The View at some point if she ends up going that route. They'd probably be the best co-host they've ever had.
Bro, I could see them eating her up. They would love her so much. Oh my God, bro. And they would think, I guarantee they would think they're so cool because they love an ex-Republican like her. They would think they're the coolest thing. They would think they're cool just for loving her. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
It's one of those weird things. I could just totally see it, bro. They're like, oh, yeah. I could hear everyone coming out. Oh, I love Marjorie Taylor Greene. It's like, okay, bro. You were just raking her over the coals 2 seconds ago.
Because I just thought, like, what if she gets done this January? Yeah. She could still run for that next seat again as a Democrat. That 2 years takes her right into 2028. So even in that last year, she could still decide to be in office. She could be in office, and she could still campaign to be president at that point if she did a party switch or whatever. And she would maintain adding an extra Democratic seat in the process. So that's why I'm really wondering what's going on here. Unless somebody really pressured her, and she's like, you know what? I know what I'm up against. I don't want to lose my life or lose anything else as a result of all this. So I'm just going to bow out gracefully and I'll just get my 2 cents in first, But there's got to be more to this. It can't just be like, I'm just going to do whatever and get out. I think that she's got something up her sleeve.
Yeah, for sure. Well, dude, thanks for jumping on. Are you still looking at this at the live or no?
No, because I still don't know if I can chance switching over without having some feedback lag.
All right, cool. I'm gonna get off here soon. I'm gonna show. I'm looking around here. I got my family comes up here too. We got my family. I got my pictures of my family stuff. I'm gonna put one up of Pops real quick.
Right on.
And then I'm gonna call it a night and go have a little fun on the lake. So, dude, thanks for jumping on again. Let's do more of this. Love having you, bro.
Okay,
Everyone
brother.
loves your voice, man. Even though this is not as we don't have the viewership of the verticals, on this horizontal, but it's all good.
And if you screenshot, milk carton, bring milk cartons back again. I'm telling you, I won't go missing. I don't think I'll go missing, but it's a good place to put it.
Oh yeah,
So,
bro. I love it. Yeah.
All right, thanks, bro.
You the man. See you, dude. Let's see here, bro. I got a couple screens here, guys. Let me go. Is it this one? Maybe it's this one. Here you go. Here's a full screen. Look at this. Here's Dad when Dad was. I think this is this pre-Medi? Maybe this is post-Medi. Let me show you this picture. Here's Pops. Look at the handlebars, bro. Damn, dude. What's up? Higgy Homestead's in the house, bro. What's up, guys? That is my dad back in the day when he was, I don't know how old. Was he 30? I'm not sure. Is there a resemblance? You guys see a resemblance there a little bit? Maybe. Oh, man. Right on. All right, guys. Dude, there's the vertical live stream. And she's like, I think you look like mom. Yeah, I look more like mom. Let me see here. Here are some pictures of my mom and my sister when we used to take those, those like old school style pictures. Look, there's my sister and my mom right there. Yep. Yeah, that mustache, bro. That mustache is legit, bro. Look at that mustache. Damn, dude. Anyway, there's our horizontal live that everyone's asking for. There it is. I actually like it. I like it a lot. It gives me a lot more room to do stuff. I can definitely, do all this kind of stuff like this. Have a little more fun with it. Let's see. There we go. But yeah, so there it is. Enjoyed it, and I will do some more of this vertical stuff. That 70 stash, bro. Yeah, this looks definitely. It's like that porn star stash, bro. I'm telling you. Yep. Do dual, bring people over. Yeah, I should do that. I should do more of that. But it's hard to get people over from the vertical to the horizontal. Dude, I'm telling you. Dirk Diggler, bro. Dirk. All right, guys. Thanks again. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Thanks for coming on the live, and we'll have some more fun with it. And I was gonna say, I'm also gonna be working on something. Rep America, bro. I think that's a new series for the live stream. Rep America stream, bro. What do you think about the Rep America? Represent, repair, Republican, Rep America. What do you think? Is that good? Has a nice little ring to it. No, he's not. His dad is still around, bro. Pops is still alive and kicking, and he looks a lot younger than he is. I got to get him on the show one time. I'll get him on like I got mom on. Yeah, you like Rep America? I think it'll make for some good hats too. Rep America. I think it'll be good, bro. Hell yeah. All right, guys. Dude, thank you guys again. And that was a good show. Awesome. See you guys later.